Hi, my name is Lacey. This is my NFDN2003 blood transfusion video. So what we're going to do is I'm going to hand sanitize my hands. I'm going to look at my patient's MAR and physician's order, and I'm going to notice that my patient, he needs a blood transfusion. So I am going to call down to the blood lab, and I'm going to tell them that my patient's first name, Kim, last name, James. I'm going to tell him the type of blood that he needs. He needs O positive packed cells. And I'm going to give him his ULI, ULI 914290920003. I'm also going to give his BB number 47378. 762, and then I'm going to give my first name and last name, and then I'm going to, as I'm waiting for the blood to come up to the unit, I am going to prep my saline. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to check the integrity of the bag, make sure it's not leaking. I'm going to check the expiry date. I'm going to make sure there's no sediments in it. I'm going to hook my bag onto my IV pole. Then I'm going to open my Y tubing. And I am going to take all the taping off of it. I am going to make sure that all my lines are closed. Perfect. Perfect. Everything on the tubing looks good. Then I'm going to untake one of these. And I'm going to pull this up, and I'm going to, it's because it's already punctured, sorry, I already tried it once. So then I'm going to stick this in here, and then I am going to make sure that this is nice and tight, and then I'm going to unclamp this bottom one first. Okay, and then I'm going to untwist this. I'm going to keep this cap just so I can keep my line sterile. And then I am going to slowly release this while I run the prime through the line. Why are those doing this again here? I'm going to unclamp this. And then as soon as it starts to go through, I am going to wait till it gets the bubble up top. I'm going to reclamp my line here. I'm going to reclamp my line here. Perfect. Then I'm going to put this cap back on to keep it nice and sterile. I'm going to check the integrity of the line, make sure there's no kinks, everything is good. Then I'm going to put my line up here for now. Perfect. Then my blood comes up from the unit. I am going to check my blood and make sure that it matches my take, the blood transfusion record here. I'm going to make sure that it matches my MAR. Okay, so yes, James Kim, Jade Kid, Yuli, 014290920003, O positive, packed red blood cells. So now my blood record matches my bag, and it also matches my MAR. I am then going to bring this stuff into my patient. Hello, Mr. Kim, how are you today? So we are going to be doing a blood transfusion on you. The physician has requested one be done. Is that going to be okay? Okay, perfect. So what we're going to do is I am just going to get your wristband here. I'm going to look to make sure that on my bag it is the right patient. James Kim, birthday January 2nd, 1941. Yuli is 142092003. And then I'm also going to make sure that the blood bank number matches as well. Okay, perfect. So now that I have done that, I am going to call my buddy nurse. Hi, buddy nurse. Can you please come with me to check my blood thing? Perfect. So then he comes in and he reads out the patient's name, Kim James, Kims, birthday January 2nd, 1941, PHN number 142092003. Perfect. And then he is going to read me out the blood bank number, BB47362. Perfect. So now my second nurse has seen that the bag matches my patient. Then we are going to come over to my MAR, and we are going to, he's going to check, he's going to read it out for me, and I'm going to check. Kim James, KIMJAMES, Yuli 014290920003. O positive, packed red blood cells, not expired. So then what we're going to do is we are going to make sure that there's nothing in this bag, there's no blood clots, the integrity of the bag, nothing is leaking. And then we are going to raise our patient's bed to our working height. And we're gonna make sure that his IV line is not compromised. There's no redness, there's no swelling. Then what we are going to do is we are going to prime this line by, so first I'm actually going to make sure everything is closed. And I'm going to untake this, I'm going to untake this, and I am going to put it in here. And then I'm going to turn it upside down and hang it with my hook here. Perfect. And then I am going to make sure to check my patient's vitals before I give the blood transfusion, or before I start it. So then what I'm going to do is I am going to, after I've checked his vitals and he's okay, I'm going to slowly, to my patient, I'm going to slowly prime it. Of course it's not going to work. I'm going to slowly prime it here. Come here. Like so. Slowly prime like so until it goes all the way to the end here. There we go. Oh, nice and slowly. And it goes all the way. There we go, until I get that part. Perfect. And then I am going to sanitize my patient's arm, attach it. I can't do this, I literally just quit. Okay, and then, there we go. After my guy's thing is going, I am going to check his vital signs every 15 minutes, then half an hour, then hour, and then I will check his vital signs every hour until this blood is finished. If the patient is experiencing any symptoms or abnormalities in his vitals, then I will let the charge nurse know or the physician. And then if they ask me to discontinue it, I'll discontinue it, let the saline line run through, I will discard the blood, I will follow whatever protocol is where I am working. My reflection is this is very difficult. I wish that we would have did it in lab, and had a proper skills checklist that we could have easily reviewed, so that practicing would have been a little bit easier. It's kind of like, I know being a nurse, you got a critical think, but it is very difficult when you don't have an IV pole and your patient isn't here and you don't have anybody else really to discuss stuff with. So I do wish that we would have did it in class. Whether it had been a sign off or not, practicing class I feel like would have been key, and I feel like I would have benefited more if it was in class. Thank you.